have a list of good and bad remakes of movies over the past, 50 years or so.
Sure. Since the dawn of the talkies.
So buckle up for the movie reviews.
I'm sure everyone's...
Some more horrible films perpetrated on the man by those so-called Jews.
And some good ones.
Yes, there were a few good ones.
Probably
the Weinstein brothers.
The Weinstein brothers were behind those, no doubt. So, yeah, I mean, this was just based, we were talking last week about the Poltergeist remake.
Which they shouldn't have done.
Exactly.
Drones in the afterlife.
But I knew when we were talking about it, I knew that there were good remakes, and there are definitely bad movies that had a good premise deep inside, and it just took maybe another director or another take, or maybe even just an advance in
technology
to bring the idea
special effects
better to the big screen. So
kind of like what they tried to do with
the proverbial fat girl.
Let's start off with some bad ones.
Okay.
All right, because I'll tell you what you were just talking about, I always loved Clash of the Titans growing up. One of my most favorite movies. I was so pumped when I heard they were remaking it. I was like, they're going to do this awesome. Boy, was I wrong.
Right there is the epitome of a bad movie. Why? Because it wasn't computer-generated graphics. Those Ray Harryhausen special effects are the best. I would rather B- level practical effects than whatever computer effects. Computer effects just never look as good. I stopped short of calling them A+ computer effects because
that's why you can't fuck with Hong Kong cinema.
Exactly.
You watch these bullshit fight scenes here, but when you watch one of their fight scenes, you're in it and you're seeing the intricacy of what's going on.
I did have one that was a remake. Now, and I like the original, but while we're on that topic, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but he gave me such a great segue. The Departed. That is technically a remake of a Hong Kong movie called Infernal Affairs, and the story is essentially the same, but Scorsese kind of took it and he rubbed his Scorsese on it, and he wonderfully, masterfully said it in Boston.
I'm a fucking fan. And
yeah. He didn't get good accents out of everybody.
Most of them are from Boston is the bad part.
I'm waiting for you to make your move.
Right. Overplay my own town.
But, I mean, I really did like The Departed. That one, there were a lot of them that I was looking at. I said, I don't know if that's better or worse, but in a case like that one, I mean, The Departed, I think it won Best Picture or something. And
that was just
such a good movie,
But they've screwed up so many other ones. I mean, like one of my list on the bad is Let the Right One In.
Oh.
Yes.
They remade that. The original wasn't it French?
Yes.
No, Swedish or something. It was
Swedish?
Yeah, it was Swedish.
And see, now that's almost a whole other subgenre of remakes, and that is remakes so that lazy Americans don't have to read subtitles.
And they ruin them.
Right.
Yeah, because Let the Right One In is a fucking flawless vampire movie. Yeah. It is awesome.
And it's so subtle, but like the pool scene? Like, I'm not going to ruin it for no one out there, but that pool scene, there's no way you can get by that original scene and not be like, oh, and they don't show anything.
And that movie, the whole movie's like that. It just smolders and smolders and smolders, and it's so worth just reading. In fact, I think sometimes the fact that it's a foreign movie adds this whole other level.
Well, they're not bound by the same laws. You can throw a baby in a Hong Kong flick. You can blow up a bus full of kids. That's what a terrorist would do.
Eat them.
But around here, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. Well, a real crazy person's going to do that. Well, unfortunately, our kids do everything they see on TV, so you got to go to Hong Kong to get those flicks.
Now, I've got a horror remake for you, though, that I can offer as a rebuttal.
All right.
The Fly.
It's on my list of best remakes. I love the remake of that.
And I like the original with Vincent Price. It's great. It's Vincent Price. It's campy, 50s,
Well, Little Shop of Horrors.
Matinee, Little Shop. Yeah, that's another one. But that 1986 David Cronenberg version, it's so 1986.
Jeff Goldblum,
Gina Davis, Pride of Wareham. And, I mean, it's just so David Cronenberg, and it's so 80s. And it's just this, I mean, watching him turn into the Fly, it's
this
still...
How Brundlefly eats. Oh, that was so sick. He was raw.
I mean, that movie, it absolutely
but again, back
stole
then,
the show.
It was like a time period. It's like we used to do raw flicks, and then they just kind of softened up.
But not in the 80s. The 80s was pretty raw.
Oh, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Well, it's like somewhere between the end of the 90s into the 2000s.
We got all
horror
all
films
wimpy.
got tripped up because Hellraiser was raw.
Yes, it was.
And then it turned into Sleepaway Camp.
Well, the beautiful thing about 80s cinema is they just blended horror and sexuality so well.
Yeah.
And there's a whole element to just that whole,
Sexiness.
Clive Barker, sexy and repulsive all at the same time. I'm sure we're all warped sexual degenerates as a result of it, but I'm not complaining. Neither is my wife.
I got to repent 3 times a day.
So what do you got? You got another bad one for us?
Well, since we're on horror topics, I mean, I think some of the best remakes that they've done, as well as some of the worst, have been the horror remakes. Dawn of the Dead, the new Dawn of the Dead that they made.
Zombies that run.
I love that.
I have mixed feelings. I really like the Dawn of the Dead remake, but I also really like the original Dawn of the Dead for all of those reasons we were just talking about. It is such
about it.
high 80s, campy, sexy,
that's
gory.
an apocalypse you got to be in shape for. It ain't these just walking around in circles, slow, dumb zombies. These things are coming for you.
I mean, and in some ways, the Dawn of the Dead remake was almost the 28 Days Later remake.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a way.
The Rob Zombie remake of Halloween, great movie.
Now, the flip side of that, though, the Texas Chainsaw remake. I don't see the point. I think the original Texas Chainsaw it's like the original found footage.
It's just
movie.
like the last throw of a franchise. It's been a long time.
But that original, it's just
can't
so
top the
gritty
original,
and
but-
horrifying, and I mean, it was
These kids don't know what a VHS copy of the original is.
right, and it was horror porn before horror porn was a thing, and it was exploitation before exploitation was a thing. It was found footage before found footage was a thing, and to try to remake that with glitzy special effects and it doesn't.
No, that was magic happening for the genre right there. There's no.
And I like the remake of if there had never been an original Texas Chainsaw and they came out with that remake as the original, like, wow, that's a disturbing movie. But I don't know, you can't hold a candle to just how terrifying that original is.
Yeah, but I got some good extended cuts. There's the extended cut of the Little Shop of Horrors. It's anniversary edition of the movie, which actually has the true ending that the director had filmed. But
You're talking
people
about the
were too
1980s
sensitive.
one.
Yes.
Yes. It was very dark. The original was very dark.
Yes, well, everyone gets killed by the creature at the end. But they had to do the soft ending that everyone saw in the theater.
Well, they turned it into a kids movie. They were trying
pretty
to
much.
turn that into
Show.
like a franchise, I mean, they wanted toys and lunchboxes, and you can't have that when Audrey eats everybody.
The Thing.
That's on my list too.
Now, the original was, 1951 or something like that?
Yeah.
The one that they did, what was it, 1980?
80, 81, something like that?
82 or something like that. With Kurt
Russell and John Carpenter.
That was a great movie.
I mean, that's probably
was a good one.
some of the best practical effects you're ever going to see.
Without a doubt.
Now, they made another one in the early 2000s that everybody was saying, oh, it's a reboot or it's a remake of it. It actually wasn't a remake of the original. It was a prequel.
It was a prequel, right.
Which I thought was awesome. And even that one was really good. But the 1980s one was still one of my favorite. It's still one of my favorite.
I'll never forget. I walked into my living room. My father was watching that. I was 7 years old. And it was right during that famous the stomach.
dog.
No, the stomach and the teeth in the stomach scene. I walked. I shit myself, man. I couldn't go to bed for 2 months after that. That movie terrified me.
I was a latchkey kid. I was always watching that shit.
As much as I can't stand some of the actors in it, Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh no!
I guess that is
It's a remake.
Yeah,
but
it is a remake. The Dracula franchise is tough because it seems
they're
like
made in so many different ways.
Yeah, exactly. I actually like that Bram Stoker's one. I can't stand
like that
Keanu
one.
Reeves.
I can't stand him.
When are they going to stop making real
I am
vampires?
Dracula.
Fuck all this sexy vampire shit. Everybody want to make love to the dead. What the fuck's wrong with you people? Everybody used to just run up and just eat everybody, and it was a war. Now it's like 90210 with fangs. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Because they're trying. It comes back to lunchboxes and action figures, man.
Let's go back to bad remakes. The first Godzilla movie that they made with Matthew Broderick.
1998. That movie's fucking
horrible.
awful.
I would rather watch the Godzilla with the big rubber suit from the 60s.
I would rather watch homemade porn featuring my parents. I mean,
well, good. Funny you say that. I have some here.
Excellent. I mean, that 1998 version is literally one of the worst movies of all time. Forget remake, forget any genre. That movie's just awful.
Disgusting.
Did you ever see the original Hitcher? The Hitcher? With Rutger Hauer.
Did that? What, they remade that?
They remade that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I like the Rutger Hauer
early
one.
2000s, and that was a horror. I mean, like that movie, the original with Rutger Hauer in it was awesome. Mm-hmm. That movie scared the shit out of me, too. That's why I don't hitchhike.
That's why
I'll just walk.
Pick up hitchhikers.
Rampage? Anyone see Rampage?
I didn't see Rampage.
Is that the Yui Bowl? I saw that movie. Is that a remake?
No.
Oh.
No. Well, shut up then.
Well, no, it's just a fucked up fucking level.
Yeah, that's a fucked up movie.
Just a fucked up movie.
I have one.
All right.
Evil Dead was a good one. That was actually a great one. A little rapey-esque in there, but other than that scene, it was pretty gory.
I like the way they redid it. I mean, they turned it into a horror movie.
It was a different movie altogether.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, completely fucking different.
It was good. I mean, the other weird thing there though is that Evil Dead 2 is almost a remake
of the first
Evil Dead. You know,
but made campier.
Yeah. I mean, Evil Dead 2 is just one of my favorite movies of all time. So,
all right, since we're on bad horror movies, how about the remake of Arthur?
Oh, that's right. I forgot they even made that with what's his name, the new drunk British guy.
Yeah, and I mean Dudley Moore was awesome. The original Arthur, I love. Like that's one of my fondest memories of hanging out with my old man watching TV, watching the movies. Fucking Arthur, man, that's movie was funny as shit.
Yeah, I got nothing.
No, I got another one that I have a little bit of mixed feelings on. Cape Fear.
That was on my list too, but I took it off because it was on my top 10. Like, I love the remake of that movie.
I love the remake and I love the original. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like they're just different, but they're very good. And the fact
I thought that was a good one.
They got Robert Mitchum to come back for a cameo in the remake. I mean, De Niro in that might almost be De Niro's like last really great acting performance.
War of the Worlds.
Ugh.
You didn't like? I'd like the new one.
The Steven Spielberg one?
I loved it.
Oh, I thought
it was awesome.
I couldn't stand it. Dakota Fanning screaming for an hour and a half.
Yeah, see, I'm used to that. She's in my basement screaming right now. I got her in that soundproof room.
She's over 18, right?
I hope so.
I mean, I'm just thinking.
I didn't ask.
Because it's only like 2 felonies if she is.
She was old enough.
3:10 to Yuma, the Western. Did you see that one?
Yes, 3:10 to Yuma's. It's actually on my list of remakes I preferred.
Yes.
I like a good old Western, but if there's something I like more than an old Western, it's a new Western. Yeah, old Westerns are just kind of slow and atmospheric. You have to be in the right mood. But that new, give me a fast pace, shoot 'em up. Yeah, that's a great Western.
What did you think of True Grit?
I like them both.
You like them
both? I
both?
like them both. That was a Coen Brothers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the Coen Brothers. But, I mean, what's his name? John Wayne won an Academy Award for his Rooster Cogburn. I don't know. I like them both.
All right, so let's end this one on this movie before we go to a break, and I'll let you guys decide: is this a win or a loss? Red Dawn.
Oh wow!
You liked it, huh?
Patrick Swayze or Thor, huh? Those are my options.
Oh, it's Russians or North Korea. I mean, like North Korea could reach the United States. I mean, they can't even get a jet through Malaysia, I think.
I got to go with the Sways.
I like the first one. All right, listen. Let's leave on this. I got some Christopher Walken facts for you.
Uh-oh.
All right. Real name, Ronald Walken.
I can see why he went with Christopher.
At 15, he was actually a lion tamer. I did not know
That's
that.
That's badass.
He was also, this is more badass than being
I'm
a
sorry,
lion
I just
tamer.
want to go back at 15.
At 15.
Isn't that illegal?
I didn't shoot no fucking lion.
I whipped
I whipped them a little, but I didn't shoot them. Second choice for Han Solo.
Oh, no.
Nick Nolte was on the list too.
Oh my goodness!
He would have almost been a better Han Solo. That would have been a real burned out, dirty Han Solo.
He's in Madonna's book Sex.